I was recently chatting to some friends of mine, and they said that when a button pops off a shirt or a blouse, they just get rid of the shirt or the blouse, which I find crazy because it's so easy to stitch a button back on. So I'm going to show you how to do that, so you don't get rid of a perfectly good shirt because you don't know how to stitch back on a button. And then I'm also going to show you how to take up a hem of, say now, a pair of trousers or a skirt. And I'm going to show you how to do this by hand without any fancy equipment, nothing special needed aside from a pair of scissors, a needle and thread, and an iron, perhaps. So you can do this at home while you're sitting on the couch watching your favorite TV show.
So let's get started with stitching on a button. You'll need a pair of hair straighteners. This is only for the hem part. I'm using a hanky for demonstration. I've got two buttons, one with two holes and then a shank button right here. You'll need a needle, a pair of scissors and some thread. And I'm using contrasting thread so that you can see what it looks like. So you cut off a piece about 30 centimeters long and thread it through the eye of the needle. Then tie a knot at the end by crisscrossing the ends as I have done and then rolling it off. Pulling it through, creating a knot and then just trimming the end. Take your button and thread through the needle from the back to the front through the one hole and then up through the top through the second hole, and continue with this for about 5 or 6 times. Last time, stitch it through without taking it through the hole of the button and wrap the thread around the button about 3 times. Then catch a bit of the fabric, pull the needle through but not all the way, and then loop that needle through the thread, creating a little knot, and do that twice. And then you trim it off and your button is in place. For the shank button, pull the needle through from the back to the front and then loop it through the bottom of the shank. And again, catch the fabric and loop it through the shank and do that 5 or 6 times. Last time you catch the fabric, wrap the thread around the needle about 3 times. Again, catch the bottom of the fabric and then pass the needle through the loop at the end of the thread, creating 2 double knots. Trim it off and your button is in place. Start by folding up about 1 centimeter from the bottom of your hem and then using your hair straightener to iron that in place. Then fold up another 2 centimeters and iron that in place. Then take your thread. You would use a matching thread to the color of your fabric, but I'm using a contrasting one so you can see what I'm doing. Cut about 30 to 40 centimeters off, thread it through the needle, and make a knot by crisscrossing the ends over your finger, rolling it through and trimming off the end to form a knot. Pass the needle through the fold you've created in the hem so that the knot is buried. Catch 1 to 2 fibers from the fabric, then take the needle straight into the fold of the hem allowance. Slide the needle along the inside of the fold and exit it about a ½ centimeter away. You'll continue to do this all the way along your hem. This is called a slip stitch, and it's really great for hemming because you'll barely be able to see it from the front when you're done. Obviously with my contrasting thread you will, but if you're using matching thread, it will be all but invisible. When you reach the end, thread the needle through the hem allowance and then pass it through the loop of the thread, creating a double knot. Trim it off and you're done.